So here we are, the Diegem Night Cross, one of the most famous races in cyclocross, and it was Van Turnat going down, Michael Van Turnat going down at the start, number 2, second in the overall, 100 riders on the start, missing his pedal, then crashing and getting ridden over by half the field, getting back on his bike in one piece, bike in one piece, but we were questioning whether he would get any points from the race this evening. We did get back to the front. It was Mies Hendricks leading, but quite quickly, Tibor Del Grosso coming to the front, the fastest rider. Just look at this form and power through the sand, like he's riding on tarmac. Look a little further back as well. Thibaut Nice not getting the best of starts, and there was a gap. It was 10 seconds was the gap from Nice to Del Grosso just after one lap, and then we saw Nice on the back foot.
It was the story of the race. Nice always seemed to be on the back foot for the first 45 minutes of racing. Del Grosso opened up that gap with that really good line through the sand. A lot of the riders going to the right-hand side as we looked at it through there, but learned as the race went on. Verschuur was always dangling on the back of those chasing group, but he was going to come on a charge mid-race. Saw here Nice always having to work harder than Del Grosso to try and come back, would always just about come back to the wheel. They'd hit the sand once more. Del Grosso opened up those bike lengths and those valuable seconds again.
Yeah, Nice just yo-yoing off the bat. He had to come back to Del Grosso on 3 occasions, mainly through the sand, as well. Del Grosso was causing chaos. And we saw just small mistakes. As often is the case when you're on the back foot, you're making more physical effort, and then the technical mistakes kick in. But at halfway, we did see both of the front riders back together.
Saw that crash for Orts on there, not the only rider this evening to do a hand sling round there and come a little bit unstuck, but actually went down, unfortunately for him. He had to have a bike change, and then we saw a bit of a lull in the action between the leading pair around about 40 minutes of racing, and that's when Verschuur really went on the charge from the chasers.
Yeah, lap 6 of 9. It was the first time that Nice did manage to leave into the sandpit. It's a really good move by the Belgian champion. But Del Grosso back on terms. Verschuur doing a hot lap to get back at these front guys. But we did see just on the lap 7, this is where things started getting a little bit spicy. And we saw Nice and Del Grosso fighting for position, both wanting to lead into this climb. But we saw Del Grosso leading into the sand on lap 7, getting a small gap. But Nice riding the best he has so far on the sand. And it was all back together with these 3 coming into the penultimate lap.
It was on the penultimate lap on the climb that Verschuur went to the front and drove a really good hard pace. But this was the mistake from Del Grosso. Took that inside line, but it just meant that he had to turn really tight at the bottom of that climb. The front wheel just skipped sideways a little bit and lost momentum before that steep pitch. Thibaut Nice was into the sand in the lead and just caught the rope on the side, risking it a little bit too much, and Del Grosso, because he was further back after that crash, was able to react, take a different line and gain those valuable 6 seconds straight away.
Unbelievable scenes in the sandpit. Nice going down. We saw in the previous lap getting so close to the stakes. If he didn't get away with it on that lap, it was 6 seconds he lost in that section. And I say Del Grosso, Nice emptied the tank on the concrete time, trying to get back to the wheel, completely blew a gasket in the process, and it enabled Verschuur to come back past both of those riders. You can see the exertion crawling up that last steep climb. Del Grosso now flying through the sand. We had our hearts in our mouths as he almost did an ace and got tangled in the stakes and the rope, but Del Grosso keeping it upright. And it was Nice absolutely crawling now. That exertion trying to recover. But it was Thibaut Del Grosso making it 2 wins in the Superprestige series after his win in Zolder. Verschuur doing a best ride of the season so far in 2nd position. Nice just hanging on into 3rd position. Series leader Van der Putte in 5th.
Is this win after that big battle in between you and Thibaut Nice?
Yeah, really important. It's one of the coolest races of the year, and I'm really happy to get away with the win here.
You're getting cold.
Yeah, kind of.
We'll let you go. Thank you very much, Thibaut.
There we go. And then on Sunday, the UCI World Cup from Zonhoven, 4 races in a row this week.
And really made his own luck towards the end there.
So there we go, your top 10, Del Grosso, Vasura, Nace, Hendrik, Van der Putte, Van Turnau. 6th place from last place on the grid after that crash.